Let's go ahead and compare the premium flagship iPhone 12 Pro Max with the budget-minded BLU G91. So we have the build quality on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It has a glass build, very premium. You better get it for spending $1,100. The BLU G91 has a more subdued plastic build, and this one only costs $150. The more premium iPhone 12 Pro Max does have 5G connectivity, while the budget BLU G91 works on 4G and LTE networks. You won't see a lot of difference in performance between these networks since we're still in the early stages of 5G, and definitely 5G is a big drain on battery. So for the processor, the premium iPhone 12 Pro Max has Apple's own latest A14 Bionic chip. It's a beast, super fast, super powerful. While the BLU G91 has a subdued lower-end MediaTek processor. For everyday tasks, both of these should be fine, but definitely got to give it to the iPhone 12 Pro Max because it'll take care of any app, no problem. There shouldn't be any performance issues. When it comes to RAM, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has 6 gigs of RAM, while the BLU G91 has 4 gigs of RAM. Both of these amounts of RAM are going to be fine for most apps. You won't see a big difference, except that the 12 Pro Max iOS devices really use RAM very, very efficiently. But on everyday tasks and everyday activities, if you're not running a million apps, both of these should be fine. When it comes to storage, there is a surprising tie with these devices. The $1,100 iPhone 12 Pro Max has 128 gigs for the base model of storage, while the BLU G91 also has 128 gigs of internal storage, plus the additional micro SD card slot. So it bests the iPhone 12 Pro Max in this category. When it comes to colors, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a couple of different options, while the BLU G91 has that green goblin color on the back. That's the only color available, so you're very limited, but it's a nice green. For charging, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has the classic old school lightning connector, while the BLU G91 has the reliable USB Type-C devices. Big difference here is that the iPhone 12 Pro Max charger can only charge iOS devices, while the BLU G91 has that advantage that it could charge laptops, even MacBooks, Chromebooks, PCs, other phones, and tablets as well. In the battery department, the big iPhone 12 Pro Max has a reasonable 2815 milliamp battery, while the BLU G91 has a massive 5000 milliamp battery. It's safe to say that both of these phones will last all day because iOS devices do use battery very efficiently without having lots of milliamps. But the BLU G91, you gotta give it to that phone because that battery will definitely last you all day. Both of these phones do have fast charge capabilities, although the iPhone 12 Pro Max does not have that charging brick in the box, whereas the BLU G91 does. And both of these should charge pretty quickly if you do manage to need extra battery during the day. For the camera setup, both of these have several cameras in the back of the device. The iPhone has a 12 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 12 megapixel telephoto. Very impressive setup. It's the best in the business. It's the standard. Definitely the BLU G91 will not compete with this in terms of pure quality, the best quality, but it does hold its own. You will be able to take very decent video and pictures in the right light. The BLU G91 has a 16 megapixel main shooter, 5 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro camera, and 2 megapixel depth. So you do have some options on the BLU G91. The iPhone 12 Pro Max does film video up to 4K, while the BLU G91 shoots video up to 1080p. Most people probably won't take advantage of the 4K, so 1080p is pretty good. When you turn around the phone to the front on the selfies, the iPhone has a 12 megapixel selfie camera, while the BLU phone has a 16 megapixel selfie with portrait mode. The iPhone selfie can shoot up to 4K, which is nice, while the BLU G91 can shoot up to 1080p. To unlock these devices, both of them use a face unlock capability. There's Face ID on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and there's a lower quality face unlock on the BLU G91. But also on the BLU G91, you have the rear fingerprint reader, very reliable. The Face ID on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the only way to unlock your device. There's no fingerprint sensor to be found, but Face ID is very efficient as well. The availability of these devices are pretty good. The iPhone 12 Pro Max can be found everywhere. You can find it postpaid, prepaid, unlocked from Apple's website, and you can get various deals on various carriers and pretty much everywhere. There's no shortage of that. To get the BLU G91, it's easy, but it's not as varied as the iPhone. You can only get it through Amazon here in the US, and the $150 price tag is pretty good on the BLU G91. The iPhone 12 Pro Max regular price is $1,100, but you could find deals if you sign up for contracts or trade-in devices or something like that. So very different options for both of these phones. Both these phones, the iPhone and the BLU phone, have a dual SIM capability. The iPhone 12 Pro Max uses eSIM for the second SIM card option, which is flexible if you're traveling. You don't need a physical SIM card to have two phone numbers or two data plans, while the BLU G91 does have the option to have two physical SIM cards, so you can have two data plans, two phone numbers when traveling. So depending on what kind of person you are, both of these are pretty good options. For carrier options on this phone, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is available everywhere unlocked. You could pretty much use it on every single carrier. The BLU G91 does come stock unlocked, but only for GSM devices, for GSM service. It will not work with Verizon, so you have the advantage on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Obviously, the iPhone 12 Pro Max has iOS software. There's no bloat on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's very clean software, very classic. People know what to expect, very efficient. While the BLU G91 also has a close to stock version of its operating system. It has Android 10, and it has a little bit of extra things to make it better, but it closely resembles a Pixel phone or a Motorola build, which is really close to stock and has very little to none of bloatware. So that's pretty good on both phones. For the headphone situation, there's no headphone jack on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You have to get some type of dongle to connect a headphone, so it's a little bit trickier. While the BLU G91 offers a headphone jack built in, which is super nice for people that still haven't fully embraced wireless, or they need to connect it to their car via aux cord, or they got a recording device or a physical headphones they just want to plug in. So a big up on the BLU G91. So on the accessories, the iPhone is pretty bare bones because there's no charging brick in the packaging. While you get a lot of bang for your buck on the BLU G91, you have two screen protectors, one that's already installed on the phone, and you also got a cool smoky colored TPU case, which will protect from scratches and a few drops, and you do get the charging brick included. So big ups on the BLU G91 for having those extra things in the box ready to go. So now we went over the specs and what is better on each of these devices. Let's break down and see which apps are people going to be using on these phones and see if both of these can handle these. So people like me are going to be using Netflix, Hulu, Disney, YouTube. This phone will definitely handle that. Music streaming with Spotify and YouTube Music, check. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Both of these devices will be fine. Cloud storage with the Google Drive or iCloud, these are going to be just fine. Photo storage on Google Photos that I use, both of these will work fine. GPS maps, both of these will work fine. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok, these phones will handle them, no problem. Messaging like WhatsApp and Telegram, no problem. Video chat, no problem. A lot of those basic apps are going to be fine on either the flagship or the lower budget BLU G91. But the thing that is probably going to be very important on which phone you pick is going to be gaming. Now, regular gaming on these phones will be totally fine. And let me give you some examples. So I'm not even going to list anything on the iPhone 12 Pro Max because it's such a high-end phone, such a flagship. It's going to run every single app thrown at it, definitely. It doesn't matter if it's a big fighting game, a hardcore racing game. But for the BLU G91, it's still gonna run a lot of apps. 99% of the apps out there are gonna be fine. So you could download games like Mad Bullets, racing games, Crazy Taxi, like a arcade shooter, like Galaga type games like 1945 Air Force, Dead Trigger, Call of Duty, stuff like that. Those type of games are gonna work just fine in this device. It's just those really intensive, big old games that you might have to, use a different device instead of the BLU G91. But for most people, most of these casual gaming apps, they're gonna be fine on both of these devices. So you always want to add extras and accessories to make the phone experience complete, either on the expensive flagship iPhone or the budget BLU G91. Regardless, you want to add a Bluetooth headphone. You want to use a smartwatch or smartband for notifications and fitness. You definitely want to get an Xbox game controller if you are into gaming, make it way better. These phones will work in tandem just great with a Chromebook, a Mac, or a PC. This is a must to get a Chromecast to send media from your phone to the TV. Smart speakers, it could be Google or it could be Amazon or the HomePod. Just get something to make this phone connect to it. And if you're in the BLU G91 camp and Android, always get an SD card. You could find one for 128 gigs on Amazon for like $20. That's the advantage of having that SD card slot compared to the iPhone. So to summarize this video on this comparison, there's gonna be definitely some things that the iPhone 12 Pro Max completely blows out of the water to the BLU G1, such as the camera and video department, such as the software updates and stuff like that. In the build quality, you're gonna want to get the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But there's some things that the BLU G91 is very surprising that it handles. It has the same amount of storage and it has that SD card slot. It has a massive 5,000 milliamp battery. It even offers fast charging. You could find this with dual SIMs, 2 physical SIM cards. The only available model is unlocked, so there's no confusion on which phone to get, which carrier it came from. And you can order it straight from Amazon, so you can get it with Prime delivery, get it real quick. It has a headphone jack, and it has a few extras like a screen protector or a TPU case, and it has a charging brick included. And when it comes down to it, it depends on your budget. If you could afford the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you should definitely get it if you could afford $1,100. But if you don't mind about having such a high quality video camera for taking pictures, or you don't really care about the build quality that much, the BLU G91 is a definite must buy at $150. Offers a lot of value and it offers things that the iPhone 12 just can't even handle. So on that note, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.